Hey friends, welcome back to the Chris Chow Show, where every Sunday I share with you news about business, finance, and technology that I'm following and I think you should know. First up, we have Tesla investing $1.5 billion into Bitcoin. This represents around 15% of its cash reserves. It was also announced that Tesla will be accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. Unsurprisingly, this caused a spike in Bitcoin's price, and as of filming this video, one Bitcoin costs 47,000 US dollars, which is roughly 61,000 Australian dollars. My key takeaway from this is that Tesla has unleashed the floodgates and more companies are gonna follow suit and invest in Bitcoin. Dating app Bumble listed on the Nasdaq on Thursday and its shares surged up to 64%, in the process making Whitney Wolfe Herd, founder and CEO, a billionaire. She's also the youngest female founder to take a company public in the US. The shares closed at $70.31 US on Thursday. Whitney Wolfe Herd owns 21.5 million shares in the company, which means her stake is worth around $1.6 billion US or $2.1 Australian. Bumble has more than 4 million users in Australia and has a Sydney office that has been operating since 2017. My key takeaway from this is that dating apps are the default for finding love in the 21st century, and people will pay up to get matches. Also, in my humble opinion, Bumble is a pretty sweet business. As expected by most people, the Reserve Bank of Australia left interest rates unchanged when it met for the first time this year on 2nd of February. The cash rate currently sits at 0.1% and it's been there since November 2020. In a policy decision statement, RBA Governor Philip Lowe said that the board will not increase the cash rate until actual inflation is substantially within 2 to 3% target range. The board does not expect these conditions to be met until 2024 at the earliest. This decision wasn't too surprising to most analysts and economists. However, what was surprising was the RBA's decision to extend the quantitative easing program. The RBA decided to extend the quantitative easing program by purchasing an additional $100 billion in Commonwealth and state government bonds.
Wait, what's quantitative easing and why is the RBA buying government bonds?
To explain it in simple terms, quantitative easing is essentially a way for the Reserve Bank of Australia to inject money into the economy. In theory, this should create more jobs and also increase economic activity. How it works is that firstly, the RBA will electronically print money so that they can buy government bonds. This then reduces the long-term interest rate that banks are offering. Now that we have a lower interest rate, this encourages individuals and businesses to borrow more money so that they can spend and invest it. This increase in spending and investment then helps create jobs and boosts the economy. My key takeaway from this is that with interest rates being kept at a historic low for another 3 years, we're going to see an increase in mortgages as well as an increase in property values. In social media news, we have Snapchat reporting its Q4 earnings, and it beat market expectations on user growth, revenue, and earnings. Some interesting points to note is that Snapchat hit $911 in revenue. It also achieved 265 million daily active users. And according to Snapchat, it has really strong penetration with Gen Z and millennials. In fact, Snapchat claims that it reaches more than 80% of 13 to 24-year-olds and more than 60% of 13 to 34-year-olds in the UK, France, Canada, and Australia. In the US, that number is even higher at 90% for 13 to 24-year-olds and 75% for 13 to 34-year-olds. And thanks to the popular filters on Snapchat, over 200 million people have engaged with their AR technology every day on average. My key takeaway from this is that a lot of people dismiss Snapchat as a has-been social media app, but it appears that there's still very much a core messaging app for Gen Z and millennials. In more social media news, we saw Chinese video sharing app Kuaishou list on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange on the 5th of February. The IPO raised 41.28 billion Hong Kong dollars, which is roughly 5.32 billion US dollars for the company. Kuaishou is a direct competitor to Douyin, which, if you didn't know, is the Chinese version of TikTok. Currently, Kuaishou has 262 million daily active users, while Douyin has more than twice that amount at 600 million users. Interestingly, Kuaishou has 3 different revenue streams. Number 1 is live streaming. This is the main revenue driver for the company, and it involves people buying up virtual gifts so that they can send it to their favorite streamers. If you're into gaming, this is very similar to sending bits to people on Twitch or buying stars on Facebook Gaming. Kuaishou's second revenue stream is from ads and online marketing. This is very similar to most social networks like Twitter or Facebook, where brands will buy these ads so that they can hopefully get users to purchase their goods or services. And last but not least is e-commerce. Users can actually purchase items directly from their favorite streamers on the Kuaishou app. My key takeaway from this is that short form video has gone from gimmicky to gargantuan, evidenced by the meteoric rise of TikTok and Kuaishou's successful IPO. It's only a matter of time before we see the monetization methods that Kuaishou is using to be rolled out across the world in different social media apps. And in this week's Crypto Corner, we have the Ontario Securities Commission approving the first Bitcoin ETF in North America. The exchange-traded fund will seek to replicate the performance of Bitcoin's price minus any fees and expenses. It will be managed by Canadian asset manager Purpose Investments. If everything goes to plan, the ETF will be listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol BTCC. My key takeaway from this is that this is huge news because it allows everyday investors who might have been scared about the complexity of investing Bitcoin, or they were scared about security issues. Now all they have to do is purchase an ETF. It's highly likely that other countries will follow suit and allow Bitcoin ETFs to be listed on their exchanges. Once this happens, Bitcoin's price will probably shoot to the moon. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe for a new video every Sunday covering business and technology news that I'm following and I think you should know. As always, an important disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice. This video and my channel is for general information only. As with anything in life, you should do your own due diligence and seek independent advice.